Welcome back to the Amazing Digital Circus doll series. Today we are making Jax. We are going to be using the body of Nathan Rothman and a G3 Twyla head. I originally was using that lavender spray paint that I used for the Werecat twins, but then it decided it hated me and I couldn't get any more out, so I had to go in and paint the doll by hand, which took so long because I had to do so many layers. I had to make sure to keep on bending it, the limbs and the joints, to make sure I covered everything, and then sealing it was a whole other nightmare. So there's a lot of this that happened, and this isn't even this is just the beginning, and just it got worse. This whole doll was just an absolute nightmare to make, which I think Jax would like. I think he wants me to suffer, and I want Jax to suffer, so it works. So I decided to use G3 Twyla's head because I find them easier to remove the hair from because they are not absolutely coated in glue like the G1 dolls are, and B, because I liked the rounder head. I thought it would go better with the proportions of Jax, because he does have a rounder head as well. At first, I was just going to try and cut off the lips and sand them down, because I wanted to do that big toothy grin, and it would look weird to have the lips there, but I couldn't get it smooth enough to where I liked it, so you'll see in a little bit that I actually just end up cutting that entire mouth piece out, and then I end up filling it with clay and then sealing it up so I can use it like this. Here I was trying to figure out how to do the mouth without trying to cut everything out, but this is kind of what I decided. I was like, the mouth just doesn't look right like this, so I just cut off the mouth, and then I had to paint it to match the body. And then here, almost out of frame, is me sculpting the rabbit ears. As you can see, I have a band-aid on. That's because I cut open my finger while working on this doll. So if I could give any advice to people who want to make a Jax doll of their own, be better at it than me. So while I am totally out of camera shot sculpting these ears, I will tell you what I did next. I cut open a hole in the head as well so that I could put in the clay that way, and that way it may go in a little flatter so it can blend more into the skin, because after this I paint over the mouth again and then seal it again so it kind of just blends in with the plastic. You can still kind of tell there's a seam there, but it's not as noticeable as it could have been, so I'm happy with it. So I set aside the clay to dry and got to work on the body. Off camera, I made the overalls, and here I am painting the hands and the buttons. Also, while I'm here, thank you so much for the response the series has gotten already. I did not expect to get that many. I expected maybe like 100 views tops, but at the time of recording this, the Zooble doll video is almost at 2,000, and I got a bunch of really nice comments, and comments that weren't even from my mom. It was crazy. So thank you so much. We're now, as of this doll being completed, halfway through the series. Next, all we have to do is Ragatha, Kinger, and Pomni. Kinger and Ragatha are already in the works because I kind of created these all kind of at the same time. Like, I was able to like set a doll down to like dry or something, and I was able to pick up another one. So that's also why I've been able to get the dolls out more frequently. So like in the future, after this series is over, there are probably going to be a lot longer gaps between doll videos. Just so you're aware, this is not at all normal for me. Then I got to work on the face. I really wanted to go for that really like old vintage cartoony style of face he has. A part of this that I really struggled with was the nose, because I did not want to have to deal with carving out the nose as well. And that sent me on a tangent where, not tangent, well, yeah, tangent, sure, where I realized that the only character in the Amazing Digital Circus that actually has a nose is Ragatha. And so I was like, fine, you know what, if Zooble and Gangle can both have noses on their dolls, so can Jax. So I'm not doing that. I can't be bothered. So I went in with the grossest yellow I could find to make the eye shapes. I tried to give him like a very mischievous look, but I think it turned out a lot more evil than I wanted it to. So you'll see that in a minute. Yeah, I'm looking at the doll now from where I'm sitting, and I'm like, yeah, that was a little much. But you'll see. after I finished up with the face up, there was another visible seam where the ears came off. It was just in the way that I made the ears, I just ended up having to like create a sort of cap over it. So in order to disguise that, I made some yarn wefts and worked on filling in the hair. It's not the best job, but it did what I needed it to, and you know what? Sometimes that's all we can ask for. So without further ado, let's get to that grand reveal. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.